So, good morning everybody. I want to make a video today talking about the flip side, again, about everything that we've been discussing over the past couple days. We've spent a lot of time together talking about the cost of living crisis, the fact that everything's very expensive. But you see, what we haven't done much of is look at the flip side. And the thing is, I consider myself to be quite an optimist. I consider myself to be someone who tries to look for solutions. And the fact is, in today's market, in today's economy, complaining seems to be the standard thing to do, but I don't think it's right. I think the reality of today's market is that whilst a lot of things that traditionally have worked do not work as well anymore, a lot of things that would not have worked, let's say, 15, 20, 30 years ago, now do. And we could say that working a 9 to 5 is now more difficult than ever, in the sense that you may get less for the work that you put in. But also, we could make a very strong argument to why life can be easier than ever. If you think about it, making money online, right? Having remote jobs. Super interesting concepts which, to be honest, could not have existed, let's say, 30 years ago. The idea of anybody being able to build a business by, let's say, doing dropshipping like I do, where you sell physical products that you don't own, or marketing services, or simply making videos like this one. People love to complain about the economy, but these are the same people who have not acknowledged what they're looking at. You see, the greatest ability of humans is the ability to adapt to change. That's why we live in heated houses, right? It's why we can travel the world in hours and aeroplanes and stuff like that. We are the species that can adapt to change in our world. We're very intelligent and we have the powers to utilize this as a strength. But bringing this back to the more direct point, I'm hearing a lot of complaining today about the cost of living. I'm hearing a lot of complaining about jobs and pay, and not very much action about acknowledging what has changed. The fact of the matter is, people are probably pursuing the wrong paths and not asking why. I think a lot of the reason why they're doing this is because it's kind of instilled in us. We're told by school, by our families, by our friends, that the traditional path is the one to go for. We're told that just having a 9 to 5 and having a decent income is enough to get by. And it could be. It depends on what lifestyle you want. I know I have people in the comment section of basically all of my videos where I talk about cost of living crisis, where we've got people saying, well, you can still have a nice life on this and that income. It very much depends on where you live and what you want. Some people say move, some people say a lot of things, right? But here is what I think is the reality. The reality is this. This generation of people can work part-time and subsidize the rest of their income from the internet. This generation of people can have remote jobs where they work in a cheaper part of the country, a cheaper part of the world, and get paid a relatively similar salary. This generation of people can make unlimited amounts of money doing numerous different tasks online. And this is the challenge, this is the problem. Nobody likes to acknowledge this. Nobody feels like it's appropriate to acknowledge this. Because, and I understand why, because we live in a system that still encourages the traditional path. Because that's a path that benefits big business the most. If you're a stupid, mindless worker who doesn't think about the day-to-day runnings of life, you're going to be very dependent on your company. Now, if you start to think for yourself, if you start to have ideas and aims, you can very much make yourself better off than you ever could have been in any point of history. Now, when I say on the channel that I want to focus on running my own businesses long term, a lot of people say that I'm stupid, a lot of people say it's not going to work. I don't care. They don't know what my future is going to look like. I don't 100% know. But here's the thing, right? I am the first person in my immediate family for at least 3, 4, 5 generations who's been able to make a very good income. Because right now, remember, my eBay revenue alone is about $8,000, about £6.34,000. Profits on that are between $2,000 and $2,500. I have a part-time job where I make an extra $1,000, and numerous other different income streams like YouTube, Patreon, that might make me an extra £1,000 profit a month. So realistically, on the very lowest, I'm looking at about £2,500 profit a month. On the highest, like 4,000. Who in history in my family could have done that? Who in history in your family could have done that? And you might say it's not possible for you. I hear a lot of people saying, well, when I do this, when I try and make videos, when I try and list stuff on eBay, it doesn't work. What happened the last time you tried? Well, no. Not what happens in theory, not what you've seen some YouTuber do. What happened the last time you actually went out there and tried to make money for yourself in a new method? What actually happened when you tried? Not the theory behind it, the actual fact. Show me what happened in your attempt. And everyone goes quiet at this point because they just read an article from a blogger or watch a YouTuber or listen to a theory, or even worse, they listen to big media telling you about how business is a stupid idea. The people who basically want to keep you in a job, and they're like, well, that's not going to work. You don't know what's going to work. You don't know what's not going to work. So the response to today's economy is not defeatism, or it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be giving up. Obviously, if people want to make the move to a different country for what they see as a better quality of life, that might be a good idea. Some people are going to be much more suited to 30-degree climates on a beach in Thailand. Maybe that's your vibe more. And anyone who in the comment section who says that's wrong, I think is quite ignorant, because to say what worked for them works for you may not be the case at all. May not be the case at all. But a lot of people, I don't like that lighting actually, a lot of people don't like to acknowledge that, and therefore they'll follow these people's opinions. Therefore they will go down a traditional path that they're told should work for them, and they don't acknowledge things. Like, everybody can make the correlation between the rise in house prices and the relatively small rise in wages. Everyone can make the correlation between productivity and low pay, but nobody seems to like the solutions. The solutions are this. Everything around you that big business and big companies are using to leverage and utilize your resources is something you can be utilizing to leverage your own resources, leverage your own skills. You can be your own unit of labor. You can be self-employed. You can be a freelancer. You can just have a job full-time even and make an extra couple of hundred, couple of thousand online. I know it sounds easier said than done. I know it does sound easier said than done. But trust me, it's relatively easy. It's not difficult at all. I have a part-time job, like I say, and I obviously run my own eBay shop and a number of other things. I cannot say with any degree of honesty that I work anywhere near as hard running my own businesses as what I do in the job. And tying this back to the actual point, why are we quick to acknowledge certain parts of the world which make us feel sorry for ourselves and make us feel better because the world's bad and the economy's on a down, and we fail to acknowledge the bit that is our job to fix? The bit that is our job to fix is simply this. The opportunities are there for those who are willing to take them, but they're different. And to acknowledge that is quite a tough thing, because it means that we need to realise that. We need to take a new risk. We need to follow something that we can't get advice from our parents and grandparents from, because it's different. But it's the way to a more meaningful future. It's the way to better results. You know, in today's economy, working and having a part-time side hustle or side gig is almost, I think, necessary. And I think it's something that everyone should be focused on. But people don't like to acknowledge this. They'd rather just complain. But the world doesn't care about your feelings, right? The world cares about results. And if you're not getting what you want to see, then that's the real concern. That's a real thing to think about. Look at what you're actually getting out of life, and then make a judgment based on that, rather than feeling sorry for yourself, saying that the economy in the world is tough. Of course it is. Of course it is. But is the word tough, or is the word just completely different? I'll leave you guys to answer me in the comments section. Let me know what you think on this topic. Everyone's going to have different opinions, but I'm interested to know what you're going to say. Thank you. See you soon.